Hey guys, let's talk about this Mossberg 500 project. You might remember this Mossberg from the purchase I made probably, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago. I picked these up from a family member, a whole bunch of family guns that were coming down to me. And this one here was the Mossberg 500 that was from the early 1990s. And it had a 28-inch barrel on it with the regular magazine tube, and I started to do kind of a conversion on this into a home defense gun, and wanted to show you the progress so far and what I'm doing to keep the cost low and how I'm going to do this to make this a very comfortable gun for me, which is really important. I recently took a shotgun class, and in that shotgun class I kind of realized that I really need to stick with the Mossberg 500. Being left-handed, that safety, that tang safety is just the only way to go. Function-wise, I find I was a lot slower. I actually brought my Weatherby PA08, and it held up great. I'll probably do a video on that, but in reality, using the safety was slowing me down. And of course, you got to use the safety when you're in tactical training. You can't, put other people at risk because you're a lefty and you don't want to use the safety. So I decided, it's time to convert this old Mossberg. It's probably 92 or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so I went online, went on eBay, and I found a combination barrel and magazine tube for $125 shipped, which is not too bad a price. Typically the barrel itself will sell for, 80, 90 bucks. And then magazine tube, you're talking like 40, 50 bucks, and the spring is like 10 bucks. So I was able to kind of save a little bit of money by buying them together as a kit. And I think the price is a little cheap on them because the finish is a little uneven. And you probably can't see it, but there's a couple little spots where the finish looks a little worn down. Even though they were new in the box, or new in it, they were still sealed. I got a feeling they were like a factory reject, maybe a second, because of the finish, but I don't care. This is a home defender. It's going to get beat to hell. So I slapped on the new barrel, put on the new magazine tube, and got the little butt stock pouch on there for now. So there we go. We got the capacity up there, which is probably the most important thing. Now the next steps, as far as I'm concerned with this gun, is I do want to get a upgraded follower. I think that's real important. I know a lot of people say it does help with feeding, and plus I really want one that's brighter. The follower in this is black, and in low light conditions it's really difficult to see, especially when you're using something like this military grade buck. It's really difficult to see that bright primer, so it's kind of tough to tell whether it's loaded or not. So I do want to upgrade to a high visibility quality follower. I also want to upgrade the safety. They make those extended safety latches. Definitely going to do that as well. I might get those extra power magazine tube springs. We'll see. I'm not sure. I've kind of haven't read anything too fantastic about them. As far as butt stock and foregrip, I'm thinking, because I really like a short 12.5-inch length of pull. So I'm thinking about the Hogue 12.5 length of pull for this guy. I like that length, and I have that Hogue on my Winchester 1300, and I really like it. It's really comfortable. I've done a lot of shooting with it lately, and it's a perfect length for me, and it's, like I said, super comfortable, so I'm probably going to do that. And then for the foregrip, I'm thinking about the Magpul forend, to be honest. I really like the looks of it, and trying out a few people's shotguns at the ranges, I kind of found it to be not too shabby when it comes. It's kind of comfortable. It's interesting because a lot of these Mossberg ones are very slick, even though they got checkering on them. The wood, because it's so damn coated with like poly or lacquer or whatever they put on them, they get really slick when your hands are wet. So I definitely want to upgrade to something synthetic. And that Mossberg one, I tried that out and it really felt good in the hand, so I'm thinking of doing that. I know it isn't a match set with the Hogue and all, but I just can't afford to spend $100 on that Magpul buttstock. I like it, nothing wrong with it, but it's $100. I mean, I can't put the money. So the plan is, guys, is I've got like $100 invested in the gun. So another 125 on that barrel. You're talking, I think, 40 for the Hogue. I think 30, so you're 70. About 225, about 325. Add that follower. You're talking about 350. I'll have invested in this all together when I'm done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell that old 28-inch barrel, which I'm thinking I'm going to get 70, 80 bucks for it. Bing. I'm going to sell that magazine tube. I think I'll get 20 for it. And then I'm going to sell this furniture. I might get 20, 30 bucks from that. So I'm guessing altogether I'm going to get about 100 to maybe 150 back out of the extra parts, which you take that away. In the end, this entire gun, I'm going to have invested in it $250, maybe $200, $200, $250 of total investment after I sell off the parts. So it really is advantageous, guys, if you're on a budget, to pick up an older Mossberg 500 and just do the conversion yourself. The modern Mossberg 500s now that are tactical, they're running minimum usually 350 to 400, so you can easily save yourself $100 on it. Now, of course, yeah, you can buy a Maverick 88. You can definitely do that. I know they're pretty inexpensive, but some people, they do just prefer the Mossberg 500. They want that name, they want that feel. And for me, guys, this old 90s model, I compare this with, I put this side by side with my, I've got a 500 that's maybe 3 or 4 years old. And comparing the two of them, the action is so much different. It's so much smoother on this older gun. And I don't think it's through use. I think it's just, they made it better back then. I think the finish on the receiver is better. There's a lot of things that just seem better. The trigger's better, action's better. I like this gun. Plus, this is the Mossberg I grew up with, guys. If I'm going to use a gun, I want it to be this one. So I, turn that old heirloom into something fun again, and there we go. And it's going to be pretty decent on the budget too. I'd love to get away with 200 on it, but it'll probably be more like 250. But hey, small price to pay for turning an old family heirloom into something pretty neat. And not to say I like the looks of it as it is. I like the looks of the wood stock. I mean, their wood was obviously much better back then too, but that length of pole is just a bit long for me, so I definitely need something a little bit shorter. So there you go, guys. There's the Mossberg project, the beginning. We're going to move along and hopefully within a month have this sucker